So your girlfriend decided to break up with you and you're picking up the pieces, trying to move forward in life. And this is not an easy season for you because you're emotionally vulnerable. You're hurt from the breakup. You might be depressed. You might be feeling down on yourself. You might be going through a lot of regret because you thought she was the one. But now all of a sudden you got to move on and get over her. That is not an easy process. And it does not happen overnight. So the first thing you want to make sure you avoid is not staying in that pit. You got to make sure you are an overcomer. You have to make sure you're doing the work so you can go through that recovery process. The next thing you want to avoid is having a lot of conversations about your ex-girlfriend, especially if both of you have the same friends, because you might have habits of just casually talking about your ex-girlfriend to her friends. And the reality is you can't do that anymore. So if they start bringing them up, you got to cut that off because it might hurt you. It might bring up some feelings you don't want to express. And also, they don't want to hear about the sob story all the time. You want to make sure that you're focused just on that relationship and make sure they understand that there are boundaries here, and also ask them to hold you accountable because that will help you heal from this breakup and move forward. And you also want to keep in mind social media because you might go on her page and see what she's up to, look at her stories, like her pictures, cut that off because that's part of you communicating to your girlfriend and it shows that you haven't gotten over her. Another key factor in cutting off communication is making sure she's not living rent free in your head. I'm not saying you can't think about it, but if you're going to Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and all these other social media platforms, and you're checking on her, seeing how she's doing, and you're liking her pictures or just viewing her content, that is going to hurt you. And then when you go to talk to her friends, you might have this urge to ask how she's doing because you saw a picture online. So cut it off completely. If you do these things, it will help start the process of your healing journey. I'm not saying you're going to just get over her overnight. That's not realistic because you guys had feelings. You were in love with this girl. All of a sudden, she's broken your heart and you're just trying to figure out what to do next. But just make sure you cut off that communication. Make sure you're not talking about her 24/7. I'm not saying you shouldn't have conversations, but it might be wise to talk to someone who isn't involved, who's not friends with her, so they can have a more objective opinion about the circumstance. And the last thing you want to avoid during a breakup is contacting her. Of course, this might be obvious, but to some people, they have urges. They want to text, they want to feel their presence, they want to see how they're doing. So do not contact your ex-girlfriend because if she's asking for the breakup, give her the breakup. Make sure she misses your presence because if you reach out, you give her the power right back. It's your job to have self-control, to have discipline here. So you're not allowing this girl to stay in your life. If you reach out, you might say something you regret. You might react in anger. You might be desperate or needy, and that's going to turn her off even more. So you don't want to develop these traits as a man. You want to move forward. You want to get stronger. You want to feel out all those feelings because you should, admit that it's hurting. You should tell somebody that it's a difficult time. But as long as you don't contact her, that's going to help you move forward. And also, you build more self-respect. You understand that, hey, I can actually stay away from my ex-girlfriend and be okay. And it will build your confidence and bring your dignity back as a man. Is this journey easy? Absolutely not. Getting over your ex-girlfriend is not something you just do overnight. But as long as you're not staying in that pit for too long, as long as you're not telling her friends all the time about how you're feeling, and as long as you continue to not reach out and stay in no contact, it will help you avoid these pitfalls and you'll be a better man for it. Hope you guys enjoyed this video today. I'd love to hear your thoughts on what you're doing to get over your ex-girlfriend. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.